Hey folks, Sheila here from Design Files. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about your client's portal and how they're going to use that portal to interact with you from start to finish throughout the design project. Now, your client's portal is where they're going to do basically everything, whether you want them to come in and view designs, to leave feedback, to pay for invoices or approve quotes, or even to sign off on contracts. It's essentially where they're going to interact with you throughout the entire process. Now, I thought I would create a video that would show you exactly what that client portal looks like so you can get a really clear sense for how your designer or how your client is going to be able to easily navigate that and move forward through the project with you. So let's go ahead. We're going to use this project right here as an example. And to begin with, there's a couple of things that you should know about your client's portal. So the first thing you should know is that when your client logs into their client portal, they cannot see any of the other projects that you have on the go with any other clients. They can only access the project that you share with them. And even within that project, they can only access the content that you want them to see. So you're always in full control over what content your client sees and when they're going to see it. Now, the next thing that you want to know about your client portal is that you get to brand it to your own business. So before you invite your clients in to review any of your projects, what you want to do is you want to make sure you go into your account settings up here, and in your account settings, take the time to fill out all of your business details. You can add a picture of yourself. You can add in your company logo. You can even brand the account to your company colors. And if you do this step, it means that every single page, every document, every email that you send out to your client, it will all be branded to your business. So they won't see the Design Files branding, it'll all be branded to you. Now, how you share content with your client and how you invite them into the client portal, it basically all happens the same way. But what I do want you to know is that there's no one set path that you have to follow. It's not like you have to create every single project where you're first going to send out a questionnaire and then maybe you're going to send out a contract and get an e-signature and then do your invoices, etc. You can choose to send whatever content you want in whatever order you want. But essentially, it all kind of gets sent the same way. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's just pop into this design here. So whether I'm sending an invoice or a quote, or if I want to send this design board right here, the way it works is that I'm going to submit that content to my client by sending them an email that's directly sent from my Design Files account. So let's use this one as an example. Let's say that I want to send this particular design. Now, when you're sending designs, it's a little different from sending any other pieces of content like a quote or an invoice. And the reason I say that is because that when you send the design, you're also going to be sharing the product list with your client. So if you don't want your client to see certain product details, you want to make sure that you take the time to click into here where it says what client sees. And here is where you're going to hide certain product details if you don't want your client to see certain things. So for instance, if you want to be in charge of ordering all the products, you can choose to hide the shop buttons, the vendor names, the SKUs, you can hide whatever details you want. So take the time to go through here, hide the details that you don't want them to see, and then when you're ready, then you can go ahead and you can submit the design to your client. Now you'll notice that you're going to add your client's email address in here. You just turn on the toggles for any designs you want to share. You can choose to add in a personal message if you like. And anytime you are submitting any piece of content to your client, you'll always notice that there's a preview button right next to the option to send the email. So you can always preview the email to see exactly what it's going to look like for your client. So this is what we're looking at right here for this particular email where I'm going to be sending these designs. There is a sign-in option up here. They can see the large design board that I'm sharing with them. They can see my gibberish here. So this is where you would put in your personal message, and I'm sure it'll be much better than that. And then, of course, they've got a button here as well at the bottom where they can click to view the designs. Now down here, this would say your company name. It would be your website address, and the login would take them to the login page where they can log into their client portal. And again, that would be branded to your business. So everything gets branded to you. Now, if your client clicks on the button to view the designs, what will happen is if this is the first time that you've invited them into the Design Files system to collaborate on this project, If it's the first time and they don't have their client portal set up, they'll be taken to a registration page. The registration page will be branded to your business, and they're just going to create their client portal. So they'll add in their name and their email address and their password, and once they've done that, they'll be jumped right to this content. If they have already been in this project and they've already got their client portal set up, then when they click the View Designs button, it'll just take them to the login page. They log into their client portal, and again, it will take them to that content. So now that you have an understanding of how it works and how you share content, let's get out of this designer facing account, and I'm going to pop into a client portal so you can see what that client portal looks like. Okay, so I've just logged into my client portal. Now in this case, if I was a client and I clicked on that link in the email to view this design, I would get taken straight to it. And you can see right away that within the client portal, we're keeping the interface very clean and minimal. We don't want to throw a lot at the client. We want to make sure they stay focused and they're not getting lost anywhere. So right out the hop, they're going to see a large, beautiful design that you've shared with them. There is an arrow here. So if you've shared multiple designs, they can just click that arrow to see any other designs or floor plans that you've shared. And if they want to browse the product list, they just scroll down here and they're going to see the product list for each of the design boards. Here, this is where they're going to make their selections. So they can approve items, they can decline items, they can indicate why they're declining items, or they can just leave straight up feedback. So maybe it's a case where they like this sofa, but they want to see if it comes in a leather option. They can type in their comment, and when they post it, an email notification will be directly sent to you, so you always know when to come in and review the feedback from your client. Now you'll also notice that they can also add attachments. So if they were out shopping and they found a sofa that they love, they can actually add an image of it here and then share that with you. Now they can go through and they can make their selections for any of the items within this product list, and anytime they do that, you'll get notified by email. But let's say that I've been working on a project with my client for a while now, and I've sent these design boards, but I've also sent along quotes and invoices and additional documents. So when my client logs into their client portal, they're also going to see the project navigation across the top here, where they can access any of the quotes or the invoices or contracts that I have sent to them. They just need to click into that, and it will show them any of the quotes that are tied to this project. In this case, we just have one, and it has been approved. So the client can scroll through here and they can see what they've approved. If this particular quote was not yet approved, basically what would happen is when you send the quote to the client, they are going to get an email. They'll click on the link to come in. They can see the quote, and if they scroll through here, you'll see that they do have the option to decline certain line items. So if for whatever reason they don't want this chair, they can decline it. This item will be scratched through, and the total cost of this item will be removed from the overall total of the quote, which means they can remove items that they don't want, but then they can still move forward with approving the rest of the quote. And then again, you'll be notified by email when they do that. Now here, they're also going to see any invoices that you sent to them. And when they come into the invoice section, they can see the total amounts for each of the invoices. They can see the dates they're due on, and they can also see the status. So in this case, they can see that this one's paid. We also have one that has been just submitted, but other statuses would include partially paid or overdue. And if they see an invoice where they still have to make payment on it, they can just click into this button right here to view the invoice. Here they'll be able to see the invoice and all the details and the line items, and they can click the button at the bottom to pay. Now you can give your client the opportunity to pay by credit card, by ACH, or you can give them the option to choose either or. So if you like the idea of giving them the flexibility, they would see two different options here, credit card or ACH, and they would just pick the one they want and they can move forward with that payment. Now another cool feature that's within your client portal, if you have been working with a client for a while on a project and you've placed some orders, if you like the idea of being able to allow your client to see the status updates for those products, in your DesignFiles account for any of the projects that you create, you can enable a client-facing tracker. And what that means is that if you enable a client-facing tracker in the project, the order tracker is also going to show within your client's project. Now it's going to be a pared down version, but it essentially allows your client to come in and they can quickly see the status of the orders. So they can see which ones have been delivered, which ones have been ordered, the date they were ordered on. They can also see which ones have been shipped and estimated delivery dates. So it means that they don't have to keep contacting you and calling and emailing and asking for status updates. They can just pop into their account at any time and have a quick look here to see where everything's at. Now, if you've been using the Design Files contract feature to send digital contracts to your client and collect e-signatures, then the contract section will also show within your client's project. They'll be able to see the contracts that you've sent to them. In this case, we've already got it signed and we can see the date it was signed on, but they can always pop in and they can download the contract for their files, or if they want to view it, they can. They can read through it, they can agree to the terms, sign off on it, and it'll show the date they signed off on. Now, let's see here. Another thing that I'd like to share with you is that while for the most part, whenever you are interacting with your client through this client portal, normally they're going to come to the client portal because you have submitted some specific content to them. So they'll be directed right to that content. But they also have their own projects page as well within their client portal. And in their projects page, if they've got a number of different projects on the go with you, they'll be able to see all the individual projects. They can see past projects, ones that are in progress. They can click into any of them. And when they click into any of these projects, they can go directly into any of the designs, make their selections, and they'll also see the project navigation across the top. But also on their projects page, we've also given them an opportunity to request another project from you. So we always want to make sure that there's an easy, quick way for them to connect with you and request another job. So all they have to do is click this button right here. And if they click that, it'll take them straight to your design questionnaire where they can fill out all the project specific details and request a new job from you. Okay. I think that's about it. I mean, it's really a very simple interface for your clients. The goal is to make this fun, easy, stress-free. So we want them to be able to log in, see all the projects they have on the go, be able to click into any of those projects, quickly dive into any of the designs that you've shared with them, make their selections, and have easy access to all the documentation for that specific project. So of course, if you do have questions about any of this and how your client will interact with their client portal, feel free to reach out to us on the live chat. We are always happy to help.